I had a bad evaluation at work last year. I teach at a relatively startup university, and we're working toward accreditations, and I really couldn't afford to get a bad evaluation. Fortunately, it was only 1 out of 9 or 10 different evaluations, and the rest were good. But to give you an idea of how stupid it was, I'm recording this in March of 2020. Obviously, we're all told to live in isolation right now. Solitary confinement, almost, is how I like to put it. What had happened was that one day after class, I thought I had my space to myself. I went to the break room and heated up a bag of popcorn, and I opened up my favorite YouTube channel. I love to watch chemistry experiments. I don't have the lab equipment to do any of these experiments, the fume hoods, the equipment and all that, so I just love to watch it on YouTube. And I was just chilling out. It was 9 p.m. at night. I usually have my office hours before the class, and I started munching on my popcorn, and the student shows up to ask me about installing some software that he needed to start his homework. And being the doormat that I often am, I started to answer him, but I got really uncomfortable. My mouth was watering like crazy because I was expecting to eat. It's one of those feelings that, unless you're in the middle of it, it's probably hard for you to comprehend how it feels. But what I really regret is, now that I'm in solitary confinement, I really regret not speaking my mind. Hey, I'm in the middle of my own activity. Could I come back to you in 10 minutes? Or could you come back during my office hours tomorrow? I could have very easily said that. I think I seized up. Now that I'm all alone, I wish I could say it. You know, I'd do anything to say, even to listen to somebody cuss at me now that I'm in isolation. Feel free to leave a cuss on the video if you want, but it really taught me that there's no reason to be shy. Every human interaction, don't take it for granted. You know, you never know if you'll ever get another chance to do the same thing. I really regret I've been a doormat for a lot of things in my life, at work, in relationships, with my family, sometimes even when people leave me comments on YouTube. I really don't need to do that. I had another student that I could have handled a little bit better. This is at a tutoring center that I was working at. I had 30 minutes one time to leave the university and get to the tutoring center, and I wanted to get some lunch. And I went to Whole Foods to get my favorite salad bar, and I got to the center. We had 15 minutes until the student was supposed to start, but he shows up 10 minutes early, and we have a waiting room and then the classroom. He showed up to the classroom. I should have just told him, could you please go out to the waiting room? I have things to prepare. I didn't even need to say I was eating. I'm pretty sure he would have done that. I think the problem was that I used to let it slide if he showed up early or left late. I don't like doing that anymore, because the more you do it, the more you have to do it. I had another student. This was my own private client. This wasn't at the tutoring center. I had another student a year ago. It was supposed to be a 2-hour session, but toward the end I was spending 3+ hours with him each time. And when I did the math, I ended up spending an extra 30 to 40 hours on him over the course of a year. And I came up with a list of a lot of things I could have done with those 30 to 40 hours, including just relax. And a lot of times I'm not getting enough sleep. And what made me really realize the value of time is that now that I'm trying to eat more properly, I used to have a binge eating problem. I find it helpful to eat slower. The problem is, time is a very precious commodity for me, and when I put it all together, the overall picture is I'm spending more time with the student. He's not really appreciating it because he comes to expect the session is supposed to last 3 hours at the expense of my eating habits when it comes down to it. And I should have just told the student, could you please come back in 10 minutes? We have a waiting room outside. Instead of starting with them, it made me really uncomfortable, and I ended up making a fool of myself because I was trying to shove down my lunch, and I ended up spitting into the garbage can. If you've ever been to the salad bar at Whole Foods, that stuff is not cheap. You don't want to be spitting half of your lunch into the garbage can when you should have just spoken up, especially when 6 months later you're not going to have anybody to talk to. Obviously, I didn't know this was going to happen, but now that I have the big picture, it all makes sense to me. Treasure your human connections in your daily life. Thanks for watching.